A lot of cool things you can see with an infrared camera. This is in the sky a couple nights ago, where I see this object that catches on fire. Like most falling stars do, this is not one of them. It's a larger object. This doesn't disintegrate, even though we don't get to see it very long. Don't forget, these are captures that spontaneously go by. So the object is elongated, several objects maybe, right? Then a long line of fire, but it gets bright and doesn't fizz out and then just goes by. And I saw that streaking by the entire sky, very, very fast, of course. And I didn't see it with the naked eye. I saw it in the camera. Most of these captures are always captures that I see afterwards, or unless I'm outside, of course, then I can see it with the naked eye. Sure, it's often, but these captures really are luck, right? Spontaneous captures. The Pleiades, that's where we are, the sisters. Alcyone or Alcyone, whatever you want to call it. The Pleiades, supposedly 444 light years away, and also it's been measured several ways with several devices, and of course there's still speculation to the distance. I just wanted to tell you all that because some people tell me, no, it's 3 light years away, no, it's 400 light years away, but 444 is the number that I was able to fall upon, if you want. And in the center, Alcyone or Alcyone, we could see it flickering, and of course it looks like there's another star or object beside it. I'm not saying any of these captures are not natural. It's noticing what's in the sky, quite simply. And yes, we are noticing a definite change in only the 5 years experience I have filming the sky, that there is a change already in even in the constellations with the disturbances or atmosphere or whatever you want to call it, whether it be Earth's magnetosphere that's causing it, possible. Let's head over to the moon, my friends, and we're going to see some objects upon special demand. Somebody asked me in the community, a couple of you, please go back to that object. It looks like a big object crashing into the moon. There was 2 of them. There was the elongated one, which we'll overlook again. So look at the light. When an explosion or flash appears on the surface of the moon, considering there is an atmosphere, and I know there is on the moon, well, that means you're going to see a blur. An explosion will not be very clear. You're not going to see the rays come off of an explosion if if it's under the atmosphere of the moon. Look at NASA's largest explosion of an asteroid. Very small, and it's blurred because you can see it's under the atmosphere of the moon. Many things come into consideration as to a reason why we see things blurry, or, like, for example, looking at a celestial object is not the same as looking at this, for example, maybe debris. Do you see the square object in this object as it's spiraling around? We're going to go see some cool captures, which, of course, are very recent. They're less than about over a year old. We're not looking back 100 years, okay? This one was close to when Beresheet hit the moon, hours after Beresheet hit the moon. But there's one we are going to go see afterwards that is pretty intriguing, and it's a large object with a couple of shapes and forms to it, and we're going to look at that really, really close, because these are objects that are actually hitting the moon. This object did hit the moon, and it uplifted 2 or 3 fires. Where are the fires? You're going to say, I've showed them. I've showed them before in other videos. Just right now, I'm not going to spend an hour on them. I just want to show you a couple of different captures that were actually pretty cool. And of course, when I show these captures, I got nothing less than 2,000 views and nothing more than 2,000 views. It's about the views that I got on these spectacular videos. Frank from New Snegados shared this channel research several times, and there is a lot of interest for my research, but just not here. It doesn't look like it is here. There's the object, look, shadow. So whether it be full of holes, whether it be just debris, obviously maybe not a spaceship, but then again, even that I couldn't confirm it. We don't know what we're looking at. We're looking at something that has shape and form, meaning look at it. I mean, this is incredible. Light taken down. And look at the fire at the bottom. This is where I got a lot of commotion, where for some reason, I'm sure they didn't want me to mention this, but I'm telling you, the object, the moon's on the right as it's crashing to the moon, and you see this intense flame come out of the bottom, just like Elon Musk's rockets when they land and they have a guided landing and the fire comes out at the bottom, then a controlled, right? That looks like a man standing on the moon right there. Pretty cool. Wanted to share that. And now here's the other one that a couple of you'll be happy. You got upon special demand. Oh, that's right. But first, let's look at it a little closer. The object that you just saw. We're almost done. It's coming out of the bottom of a solid object, whether it be anything. We don't know what it is. It's still coming out. And look, you could clearly see I'm adding a little bit of light here. There's no manipulation. Fire, smoke, and haze coming out of the bottom. It came out instantly in one frame as the object was approaching the moon. It doesn't mean everything we're filming and seeing approaching the moon is necessarily debris, meteor, asteroid, or a crash. Maybe some of these landings are actually planned landings, and it's the way possibly someone could be landing on the moon. Who knows? Who knows why Beresheet even crashed on the moon? Even that gets to me. I mean, honestly, the data and everything that was crashed onto the moon, Wikipedia, a whole disk filled with information, and now cataclysmic events. What is Planet X going to come crashing into Earth and destroy us? We do know large objects are coming close to Earth, coming right for us, but supposedly many years away. There's one that's about 25 to 30 years away, I think. And I just actually believe, without naming the name, that that's probably the one that's concerning a lot of scientists and the ones protecting Earth. Maybe possibly other extraterrestrial beings that are outside of either our galaxy or just outside of our planet, maybe even parked on the moon. Who knows, right? There's that incredible object. It's very long, too. There it is there. You'll see shapes and forms as the fire, atmosphere, and everything as it comes crashing down. Yes, it crashes right into the moon, and we can see it pretty well. And, of course, we're close here to be able to see the object. I will convert it, and you will absolutely see totally many shapes and forms on the object coming down, which, again, I found was a pretty incredible capture to be able to get it, not only get the shot, but to get the shot by coincidence. Because don't forget, unless I'm filming off of the moon, I'm not going to get anything. Nobody films off of the moon. Well, I do, right here on the side, on the edge like that. And you have to have a little bit of light from the moon. And you could see, I'm not saying it's often, I've only got a handful of myself captures in 5 years, but I'm not outside every day. Here we can see some type of shape or form. It's long, it's elongated, and that's all fire going on the surface. And you'll, trust me, with the conversion, you're going to see it. Now watch there what I just pointed to. There, another flame or something comes up, and I don't know if you know it. This is pretty big. It's massive, like the size of many, 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 many Boeing planes. If not, I wouldn't have seen it that large, that's for sure. Looking at the moon's edge. Here's the part that I really, really like and appreciate. I got my voice going again today. Here's the part that I really appreciate. And I slow it down, bring the light down so we can see exactly what's coming in to the atmosphere. And voila, we can just see that a few seconds of the object as it comes down. And boy, I tell you, that object is really, really not small. And that was captured with the CGXL 14-inch telescope, right? I hear most, and sadly, but I do hear most people that talk about 14-inch telescopes, whether they have them or not, are saying that it's impossible to capture these things on the moon. I'm proving otherwise, actually. I'm showing it, so the proof is right there. All I'm doing here is I put a green filter, and by putting the green filter, bringing the exposure down, you can see that the flame that's occurring is actually causing smoke haze around the object, or it's the actual atmosphere that it's interacting with. Check it out. An explosion. Is it an explosion on the surface? Is it an explosion off of the moon? Well, again, we're seeing that haze or atmosphere around it. No, not yet. Wait till we get in. Conversion. This is a negative. So there's no two ways about it. The color's different because I call it a conversion. That's what it's called. It's a negative shot. You can see two bumps that are there, and even I'll show it to you without the conversion. You'll see quite clearly there are two bumps on the surface that light up, whether it be UFOs ready to take off or not. So the moon is very small. It's just a crescent moon. You add the exposure, adjust the aperture, look at it all. And there, that's exactly where it landed, where the flash came from. So we're able to see that by putting the exposure up. We can even name the crater, as I did in that video. There it is without any filter. And it looks like an object jumped or something, went to next door. You see a little movement of the light on the left or opposite. The two lights right there that lit up flashed on the surface of the moon. But notice there's always that atmosphere around the flashes. You understand what I mean by the flashes? The atmosphere? Because we can tell that the flash is occurring on the surface. It's as blurry as the rest of the surface. But if you see an explosion that looks very clear and you can see the rays properly of that explosion, and it's not on the surface of the moon, well, you'll see it. It will look much like a layer, right, over top of the video. Meaning, when I see an object that's really big going over top of the moon, most people will make videos and say, well, it's something big on the moon. It doesn't mean it's on the moon, right? Look at here. Biological creature. I don't know what it is. Bruce comes up with too many theories. Well, of course, I show UFOs. You can only have theories. They're only on the verge of exposing that they're real now. Look what happens to the surface and the atmosphere and the image, the video, straight up, visually, when you see that light appear on the surface. It scatters, the light scatters, it refracts, and you see it go all along the surface inside of the video. So meaning like this flash is really inside of the video. This is a flash on the moon. And I don't know if you guys and gals know it, but an asteroid, the biggest one that hit the moon that NASA was able to film, came from an amateur astronomer. They showed it, and it was a little bigger than this one. And a flash that's any bigger than this, say to yourself, it would be millions of tons of TNT, and there would definitely be a big hole. Like even this, look how zoomed up I am to be able to show you this flash. The flash is big on the surface. You see the smoke trail behind it, guys? Not bad, eh? Not bad at all. You guys must see a little bit of pixelation on YouTube, but it doesn't matter because I'm trying to show you the flash, right? And we're seeing the flash very clearly. Luckily, the light from the flash is what's showing us a clear image. If not, everything else would be blurry, just like the surrounding. Let's go even closer. You can see it. Tail end of smokes. And it's not moving, by the way. It's the telescope that's moving over. Actually, the moon's moving over. Telescopes don't have wheels. They're stationary. So as the moon's phase is moving by, a stationary object on the surface or that area flashes, and we see a line of smoke on top of it. Imagine. Look how close I am to be able to see it. It's pretty incredible. Here's a light that comes out of a dark ridge, and the dark ridge, whether it be pareidolia or not, it's just a shadow that we're being able to see the light come out. The darkness actually helps us see the UFO and other lit spots that are appearing all around it. It actually theoretically looks like it's a war going on. It looks like a UFO shooting a bunch of other UFOs or shooting up the surface. That's what we visually see. I know you all agree it's what it looks like. Sure, it can be a sci-fi theory, but still, like I said, I'm not the one that started saying there was wars on the moon, but when I started filming these, you guys and gals suggested to me that, hello, duh, what the hell's going on? That's massive fire that we're seeing on the moon. And now look here. Here's UFOs outside of the shade, and take note of the characteristics. They're moving outside of the circle, so it's not the screen moving along with the camera. And also they have the same reflectivity as the surface of the moon. In space, we see things white. So if it's far, it could be quite simply just because of that. The conversion here, so those objects and spots were actually dark. Thanks, everyone.
Aliens on the moon, they must be mining. They're up there sitting down in that pontoon. They brought everybody up in their belly party. They coming here so soon. Yeah, aliens are up there on the moon. They may be even coming right here soon. doesn't matter, cause disclosure's coming soon. Disclosure's coming soon.